Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on? I like that intro.
Yeah, dude, I saw you bobbing your head. I'm like, yeah, that's the right one. I always try to pick the intro based off of the guest. You seem like a cool dude, so I made a cool intro. So those of y'all that have never checked out this podcast, Leadership Lead, the broadcast, the podcast, we're coming to you every single Thursday and Friday, 5 p.m. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook. I was about to say Twitch. I've been thinking about Twitch, not Twitch, but we're on all the ends and all the Facebooks and stuff like that. What we do on Leaders Lead the podcast. I know you probably look at the title and you're probably thinking it's about leadership. It's about work. We're talking about some boring leadership metrics. That is not the case. We do talk about that stuff. It's important, especially mainly for like some of our sponsors, but what I like to do is I like to focus on the leader within, because I feel like if you don't got your stuff put together the way that it should be put together, you're not living and walking in your purpose. You're not living in a life of joy. You're going to cause hell on the people that you're leading. And I'm not just talking about at work. I'm talking about at home. I'm talking about causing hell in your life. And this week we got Adam Braatz. And Adam is the epitome of that. I've been looking at some of his content for quite a bit, man. He's one of the more engaging content creators out there. He says the stuff that most people want to say, they need to say. Like he says it. There's been a lot of stuff where I'm like, man, I'm really, really feeling this. I'm really feeling this. I've been wanting to say that for a long time. Like you inspire me, bro.
Oh
You
man, you're
inspire
too
me.
kind.
Yeah, so I got you on this show because I'm inspired by you. I want to learn from you. It looked like we got some viewers already tapping in. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself, brother?
What do you want? Should I go for my origin story here and give you the cliff notes or more recent stuff or
Yeah. What do you? Yeah. What do you do? What do you do?
well,
Who are
okay,
you?
so
What's your
so
purpose?
by day I work with the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce. You could call it a day job, but it's more of a kind of all encompassing, for anybody
Vice
that works in the nonprofit world, there's no 9 to 5. It is that it's not conducive to keeping a nonprofit afloat. But I'm the vice president of communications and programs for the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Great organization founded by a great visionary and fellow veteran, Saul Newton. Great guy to connect with. He's on LinkedIn. Super inspiring dude. So that's what I do, quote unquote, by day. But additionally, I try to create as much content as I can centered around veteran issues, around veteran employment issues. And I have been kind of balancing that with talking about storytelling and personal brand development, um, and I think partly out of a desire to not be one of those like professional veterans, if that makes sense. Like my entire persona is the fact that I served, which is cool, but it's not the direction I wanted to go in. But so I kind of was skirting into all these other areas of content creation and really fighting almost. And I don't know why the fact that my people are fellow veterans and people who served, and not just vets, but like service oriented people in general. There's people who serve and sacrifice for the benefits of others in their community, for a bigger purpose, whatever that may be. If you're a firefighter or EMT or whatever, those sort of people are my people, and so why shy away? Why shy away from that? So I'm really, you caught me in the middle of this process of shifting my content towards, like, screw it, I'm just going to talk about veteran issues because it's what I know, and these are my people. So yeah, that's what I do. I pretty much work with veterans and on veteran issues, veteran employment pipelines, and veteran advocacy 24/7.
Oh, I love that, man. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, that was super long winded, but
Oh, not at all. Don't you hear the applause? We love it.
yeah.
I just got this new piece of equipment, man. I've just been dying to use it. Yeah.
Is this Stream Deck?
No, It's a Rodecaster Pro.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll,
yeah,
I'll check it out.
yeah. So yeah, man. One thing that just struck the first thing that I ever seen, or the first piece of content that I ever seen of yours were, uh, I had never heard the phrase "brovet." You want to tell me what a brovet is? And this was probably a year ago or something, but
Sure, sure.
I've been
Yeah.
trolling you for a while, bro.
Oh, it's man, the Brovet thing, it's amazing how many people got, like, really upset by that, and I had to and it was great because it was like I had a lot of things to talk about for months after that almost, like, really just clarifying and solidifying my position, and that's something that I found effective in content creation is I say something truthfully, I say something from the heart, I say something authentically, and I'm not attempting to be controversial, but there's no issue really without controversy these days, and veterans don't have lukewarm opinions about anything, generally speaking. So I say things, and then depending upon the reaction, because you only have so much time or space or text or whatever to express your opinion or share your story, it gives you an opportunity to clarify your position, to further educate and expand your network, and it just gives you further content. So I created this. I started talking about the bro vet, this persona, the person with the wearing the grunt style t-shirt over the grunt style t-shirt.
Oh, shit.
You
You pissed a lot of people off, I bet, with that
Oh
one.
my yeah. And I have grunt style t-shirts. That's the thing that like and I eventually had to do a video that's you might be a brovet if and most of the video is just the front end disclaimer of me saying like, look, if do you, it's be you, be yourself. I'm not telling you not to be yourself. If you like wearing grunt style, wear grunt style. I'm poking fun at my people, and
That's
uh,
okay.
it is, and, some people took it the wrong way, and I think probably because it was, putting a big old mirror in front of their face, and, but, if we can't laugh at ourselves, who can we laugh at? But it gave me an opportunity to clarify, to actually educate about things that were important. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that, and I don't understand, and I saw a little bit of the hate you got. I don't know
Mhm.
why we make fun of when we're in what branch were you in, by the way?
Air Force.
Okay, good deal. We make fun of our fellow soldiers, airmen, whatever. We make fun of them all the time. I made fun of and been made fun of for I never forget, I was a PFC in the Marine Corps. I
Mhm.
went all I spent probably my whole paycheck on getting like 550 cord. I bought a K bar. I had all of this freaking stuff. And they're like, I go to work the next day, and my boss is just like, and he's probably watching this. My old boss, he's like, dude, what are you, a freaking PX Ranger? And I'm like, oh,
X-Ranger.
oh, that
I like
whole,
that. That's funny.
oh, yeah, yeah. We make fun of each other all the time. Like we make fun of, the Air Force, right? I remember being in the Corps and, saying, hey, is there the Air Force? Are they're really in the military? And it was just like the way that we poke
It's
at
Air
every.
Force, man. Yeah, I mean, we it's part of the culture. I mean, we poke fun at each other, and we poke fun at other branches, and I did. You'd call me the chair force. I'd say that you know y'all eat crayons or whatever for breakfast. But the thing is downrange. You know that you can rely on me, and I take a bullet for you.
Yes,
And I know that I could rely on you and you take it. You know what I mean? Like eh, we can poke fun, but we know at the heart of it, we have each other's backs.
yes,
And that is something that after we transition out of the military, there's there's a shift. There's a psychological shift for many people in our community. And I can't I'm still trying to formulate my thoughts on this.
mm,
But all of a sudden, things become very serious and people become very sensitive. And I noticed that, gentle ribbing of, other veterans turns into infighting in the community,
yes,
almost as if We hate seeing other veterans succeed. Like, what the heck is that? And, it goes from this fun place while we're in the service to this not so fun place, and it's like, "What, do we not have each other's back anymore? Because I have yours."
Yeah.
It's a frustrating thing, and I feel like someday I could write a book on it. The whole psychological aspect of transitioning from military service to being a civilian again, to putting on your civilian camouflage and then actually reintegrating. Um, it's sad to see how we treat each other and speak to one another, and the way that people have reacted to some of my posts. And I'm not trying to be intentionally controversial. I'm not political. I'm not, I don't make religious statement. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about veterans issues,
Yeah.
my opinions on veterans issues. But some of the vitriol that I receive from other veterans leads me to believe that something has changed in them or in our community. And I can't quite put my finger on it yet. Maybe you have insights on it. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's always been the same,
Hmm.
right? Think about it like this. And when you said that, I immediately thought about my father-in-law,
Hmm.
right? My father-in-law was this proud Vietnam veteran, to the point where if he saw somebody holding up the sign saying that they were a veteran, he wanted to go and make sure that they were in
Hmm.
fact a veteran. So it's this pride thing that he was holding on. And sometimes I felt like there was too much pride when it came to the service, like so much that there wasn't enough pride for yourself after service. And I feel like a lot of veterans,
Hmm.
we get out and we lose that purpose. I mean, some of us were told, all of us were told, was not only do you have your country as a burden on your shoulders, but your job is so important that the world sometimes is reliant on you and what you do. And then when we get out, we get told, "Hey, dude, thank you for your service. We hire veterans. Here's your mop. Here's your broom. Go and count this." And you're
Yeah.
like, "Dude, I was
Yep.
just in charge of freaking 50 other people, but now you got me sweeping floors." And then I see you, Adam, making this bomb content. I see you killing it, and you figured it out. So you know what? We're not supposed to be in this barrel, so I'm gonna pull you down. We're crabs in the bucket, kind of like.
Mm, mm.
I don't know, but yeah, yeah,
I think
I,
I think it's you hit the nail on the head, and we transition, and there's so much people are shocked to when I say that there's veteran prejudice in the workplace, and there's bias against service members in the civilian workplace and in the civilian world. And people who aren't in our community are like, "What are you talking about?" I just got in a back and forth with somebody on TikTok about that today. He's like, "You guys have the
TikTok
VA."
beefing.
What's that?
I say you TikTok beefing. I like it.
Oh man, yeah. Well, I'll kick that beehive all day long, man.
We
Yeah, I'll
have
just
the
push.
VA.
What's that?
That what that person said? We have the VA. That's why.
Oh yeah, he's like, you guys have programs, and you have all these things to help you with employment. You're getting preferential treatment, and you're whining about blah 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 blah. He's like, there are places out there that have guaranteed employment for vets, and I'm like, okay, what kind of jobs? Like you can't tell me that anybody with 4 years of work experience, training and education and soft skills, uh, is well, nobody should have a minimum wage job. It's nobody should have nobody should be paid a non-living wage. I don't
Especially
care
at
who
this
you
minimum
are.
wages. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you have 4 years of work experience and training and proven success, 4, 8, 12, 20, 30, you're going to lump all those veterans in the same bucket
Yeah.
and say like, "Hey, we've got some guaranteed jobs for you." Like you said, here's your mop, here's your factory floor assembly line job, here's your delivery job, here's your assembly job, here's all, like here's your entry level labor wage, hourly, maybe full time with no benefits position. You're an E8, you're getting paid 80 grand a year with these huge responsibilities, and then you get out, and this is what in many cases is offered to you. And There's some people that are trained the right way. They get a right mentor. They learn how to translate their skills. They learn how to have a good resume to interview correctly. And there's some people that get those six-figure jobs, that get those C-suite positions, that get those upper-level director positions out of the military. And good on them. That's great. That's seriously in the minority, though. It deserves to be way, 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 way higher. We're just not trained properly on that process. And so a lot of times, way too often, veterans get either offered or put into an underemployment situation.
Yes.
And underemployment is flipping dangerous for a transitioner, because what does a transitioning veteran coming out of a position like you said, right? Like you said, that is, so important. You got 50 people working under you, and the weight of freedom is on your shoulders. The health of the United States and your communities and everything you know and love is dependent upon you and your success as a military member. And you're not just in a job, it's a 24/7 commitment. And then you transition out, and what do you latch your sense of self-worth to? It's your employment. We connect our value to our employment, and then we're offered a minimum wage, part-time labor wage position.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, it's frustrating. And that's what I've been talking about a lot lately, and trying to dispel myths and get this bias out of it, because thanks for your service and magnetic ribbons and whatever is not it. That's not it. That's not supporting a veteran.
Oh, man.
All right, man, you just got me on a soapbox.
No,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, I love it. This
push
is
my
good.
soapbox away and
No. Go pick it up. Go pick it up and bring it back. Because, dude, this stuff is the truth. And I love that you're so authentic and you're so bold about it, because it's the truth. And if that was the case, that we had all of these freaking programs, why do you see, like, if you look at most of the people that are without homes that are holding the sign, those folks, there's a reason why, whether they are or they're not, there's a reason why it always says veterans, because it's believable. And it's believable because it happens way too much in our society. If
Yeah.
you think that we got these programs, ask yourself a question. For those of you that are watching this, you work in HR, you're just like, hey, we're already serving them. I'm telling you right now, you're not serving veterans we're not serving veterans as a whole.
Right.
There's a reason why veterans go to the VA and blow their brains out. Not because it's a place of help or it's a place of respite. It's a place that they're going to, and they're constantly being told, hey, do this, do that, do this. Dude, you didn't got me freaking fired up. Let me tell you this. I broke my leg, right? I broke my leg, and the VA sent me home, and they said, we're going to call you when it's time to get a surgery. You have to have a surgery, or you're going to have permanent damage. I knew that
They sent you home.
they sent me home. And listen to they never. I knew. I told my wife. I said, babe, we got to figure something out. They're not going to call. What do you mean? They're not going to call. You would think that she would have knew that, because I mean, her dad literally had to get his freaking leg amputated because he got an infection at a VA hospital. But
Oh man, alive.
yeah, so with me, they never freaking called. I had to pay like $30,000-$40,000 to get this surgery, but we have services, right? The VA
Yeah.
never freaking called me,
Yeah.
and you know what they said? Well, I wish I could remember her name, Lisa or whoever. Well, she was on leave. What?
That's okay. That doesn't help my leg situation.
And what
Goodness.
person? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
I
we've got programs. First of all, why do those programs exist? Why do the programs exist? Why do we have transition support programs? Why do we have, veteran service officers? Why do we have certified VSOs? Why do we have close to 100 veteran serving nonprofits, per 100 per veteran in the United States almost? Or I'm sorry, one nonprofit per 100 veterans in the United States. Like, That's insane. We have
Bunch of
there's it's and those why do we have USERRA? Why do we have like legislation specifically aimed at curbing discrimination against past, current, or future service members? Heck, you have legal protections from discrimination if you even express an interest in joining the military at some point. Did you know that? If you
yeah.
say like I want to join the military someday and you get fired because somebody doesn't smell what you're stepping in, you have a legal recourse. And those things exist to combat issues,
Yeah.
right? They don't just have these things out of nowhere. But it acknowledges, it verifies that there are issues that need to be addressed. However, the fact that these programs continue to grow and expand and increase in number, we've more nonprofits pop up in the veteran serving space overnight than anything else. I don't have data to back that up, but my goodness, it seems like, I
We see.
work in the veteran serving nonprofit space. It's just more and more and more, and become less and less and less targeted and less and less and less helpful. But the fact that it continues to grow and expand proves that there's still a need that goes unfulfilled. I mean, you'd think if we have one nonprofit per every 1,000 veterans, 100. Okay, I got to do the math here, but you would think that they would be able to handle providing them with the support that they need. It would be hard for well-funded, solid organizations. Like, if I only had to serve 1,000 veterans, like, I could take care of them through the Wisconsin Veterans Chamber. Like, if all I had to do was support them, goodness gracious. But
Wow.
it's not the way this works. I mean, it's not that simple. And to say like, oh, you've got nonprofits, you've got guaranteed jobs here and there. It's like they're putting Band-Aids on a sucking chest wound and saying, be grateful for it. And you're telling me that there's not bias or discrimination against veterans? I said, thank you for your service and offered you an $8 an hour job mopping up crap somewhere. You should be. What happened to the grateful veteran? You're entitled. You have all these programs that get bent. That's a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound.
Yeah. For those folks that don't know,
I'm soapboxing, man.
love it. No, for those folks that don't know what a sucking chest when we're talking about, like, that thing's open, right? We talk blood coming out of it, and you try
Mm-hmm.
to put a Band-Aid on it. We got a freaking problem. There's a real emergency, man. Dude, I love the way you freaking operate, bro. This is for me, and that's why I wanted to talk to you. This is what you're doing is leadership. You're encouraging so many people, and they might not say anything. Just like me, man. Like I said, I watched you from afar and saw the things that you're talking about, and always I'm just like, man, he's telling the truth. You have no idea how many other people you have watching you, and that you're influencing by simply having the courage to be you. And that's why that's the title of the show. I want to read this post. If you don't mind, you did a post today. You cool with me reading that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Um, so it says, I'm struggling this week, feeling defeated, overwhelmed, uncertain, depressed. It happens to the best of us. And guess what? Feeling those feelings is totally okay. In fact, I recommend it. Feel your feelings, process them, vent, or seek support and encouragement if you need it. Cope in a way that is helpful for you. If you're struggling today, this week, this month, heck, this year, you aren't alone. And I believe we all need to work to normalize talking about these feelings out loud. I hope everyone has a spectacular weekend. I'll be busy taking a few mental health days. Bro, I'm so excited and grateful to you for spending this day with me.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, man.
I I read that and I was inspired because I'm like, there he goes again. There he goes again. Dude, you're inspired. Like, where did that come from? What were you feeling when you made that post?
Man, I don't really know. I mean, it's been a rough week, and I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I do struggle with mild clinical depression sometimes, especially when the weather gets a little nastier or whatever. And I live in Wisconsin, so that's like half the year. But what's that?
Wisconsin.
Yep. Yeah. Up here I mean, it's beautiful here, like 6 months out of the year. I tell you what, it's fantastic. But yeah, 6 months out of the year, it's a lot of people have seasonal affective disorder here. And if you lived here, you know why. I mean, it just gets gross up here. But, I've struggled this week, and I found myself, like napping a lot and, not eating the same way I normally do. And heck, I had a live stream scheduled. I've never done this before. Never. I had a live stream scheduled for Thursday, and I got to the morning of, and for no reason, no conflict, no nothing, I canceled it. I was like, I don't have this in me today. I have never done that before. I've felt like it before, being like, oh man, I don't know today. But for an entire year, I've dedicated myself to doing at least once a week a live stream on YouTube, and this was the week. This Thursday was the day that I was like, I just can't do this, and I canceled it. And I didn't say anything. I didn't like post like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry I can't make it." Not like I have like a line of people waiting to hear what I have to say about anything. But well, I didn't make. I just like I canceled. I bailed and I hid. And so this was kind of my explanation, like, in case anybody's like, is there something going on? Like, what, so I was feeling overcome with this, like, this negative feeling, this burden, and seeing that as an opportunity to, like I said at the end of the post, to normalize it. Like, if there are indeed people that are reading what I say and listen to the things that I say, like, it is my responsibility to try to use that, whatever platform that may be. And I don't have 100,000 followers. I'm not like a famous influencer or anything like that. But like, whatever platform I have, to use that in a responsible way to affect some sort of positive change. That is my responsibility. And and one thing that people are infuriated about with social media is just how fake it is. Aside from the polarization, like, that's, my God, but like the fakeness of it. And I'm glad to see that the golden age of the Instagram influencers is dying. There's still the Instagram influencer, people making posts like that, but they just don't make tens of millions of dollars for just existing anymore. I mean, those days are gone, and I'm glad to see people starting to latch more onto the authentic and the real. That other stuff will still exist, but um, I would love for more people to 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 see more positive voices and more forthcoming voices about things that are not great. I mean, everything on social media is like, oh, my kid did this, and I bought this car, and I blah, like, all
I
these
woke
things are
up to this.
great. Hashtag blessed. Like, I'm humble bragging my whole flipping life away and creating this false narrative when inside I'm hurting. When behind the scenes I'm hurting. When behind the scenes I'm being a jerk to my wife. When behind the scenes I'm not supporting my kids the way that they need to be supported. When behind the scenes I'm feeling unfulfilled in my career and my life, and all, like, all of these things. I mean, the more perfect you see somebody on social media, that there is stuff going on. Everybody has stuff. And seeing that fake, that facade, that veneer makes people that are struggling feel more alone and isolated, because it makes them feel like they're wrong for feeling that way. And it makes them feel like they're wrong for existing the way that they're existing. Like, I'm having these career issues, or I'm having relationship issues, and look at how perfect those people are. Why isn't my life this whole, like, fear of missing out, or fear of unfulfilling potential, or it makes people feel more alone, and that sucks. And I was feeling alone, and I was feeling burdened, and I'm like, it's my responsibility to just say it. I'm struggling. I've had a crap week. There's no explanation for it. I mean, really, there's a mountain of little tiny things that are no big deal. I have my health. I have a great family. Like, all these things, I just feel crappy, and I can't explain it. I'm struggling. And to share that, hopefully somebody read that, was like, you know what? I'm glad to read that because I'm having a rough go too, or like there's somebody I know that's having a rough time. Like we got to normalize talking about these. It's not even mental health. It's just normal ups and downs of life. But we are conditioned now, millennials, elder millennials, and younger. We are conditioned to to push that stuff away and to hide it.
Stuff it. Yeah.
And then we're surprised that the ones that are actually authentic and forthcoming are blowing up.
It's
The
almost
biggest
blasphemy.
influencers on TikTok or TikTok or LinkedIn are the people that are just coming out and saying it because it's so refreshing, because it
Yeah.
makes people feel that connection point because it's real.
Yeah. Dude, we're dude,
You
that
got me
that
on you got me on like massive soapbox today, man. I'm like,
I love it because there's two reasons why I'm admiring you. Yesterday was a horrible day for me, man. It was one of those days
oh,
where I had a migraine. I was stressed. I came into the studio and dude, my migraine was so bad. I was like seeing colors, and it usually
oh
comes
man.
from stress. And I like hobbled myself up here and I did my live. And in the middle of doing it, I'm just like, oh my God, this made me feel better. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I admire you for is that you took it a step further. And what you did was you let people know how you were feeling. And it sounds like we were going through it the same day, the same hours yesterday, right? I told the
Yeah.
people, like my wife, she knew about it. I was just having one of those days, and dude, you just inspired me to start sharing some of that stuff because that's what this podcast is about. Talking about our vulnerabilities because I don't think leaders do that enough. And for those of you that are watching, I mean, is the vice president of the was it the Veteran Chamber of Commerce? Is that correct? Did I say that?
The Wisconsin Veterans Chamber of Commerce.
The Wisconsin, and he's saying like yesterday was a day, man. And I read that this post that he did, and it floored me. The other reason why I'm admiring you is because of that mic, man. That's pretty. I like it. Makes you sound all buttery and crisp,
Does it
and
really?
yeah, it does. And
It's
it's pretty cool.
it's the Shure the MV7.
Yeah,
The yeah.
the NBC.
The new podcast one for the people that can't afford the what is it, the SM7B? The
Yeah,
yeah. It's
uh,
good. It's a good microphone. I'm happy with it.
yeah. My wife is probably watching. Like, damn, he's about to go get another mic. Uh, let's see. Let's jump in some comments, man. You got a little time?
Oh yeah, of course I do. Yeah, you
'Cause I know
bet.
it's 30 minutes, but let's see. Love the background and the convo. Thank you, my
Appreciate it,
brother
man.
Pedro. I appreciate it. Um, Pedro is teaching me everything I know about podcasting. Have you checked out his podcast,
What's the name of it?
X Factor of Safety, the podcast, and then he has X Factor of Safety radio station, actual radio station. He's a
Right
cool
on.
dude, man. Yeah, he's looked out for me. Everything that I had, I like literally last week we're like FaceTime, and he's like the green button and the whole crayon thing, the Navy trying to help me because he was in the Navy. I'm a Marine, and I'm like this button right here, and he's like, no, not that button. But he's cool. Anybody that's watching and you're thinking about getting into podcasting, reach out to Pedro. He gives out some amazing content. We have Ingor. Her content is amazing. Marisol, her content is amazing. She's actually coming on the show. I don't have it written down, but she's coming on the show
Oh,
really,
very
really
cool.
soon. And let's see. Thank you for being raw and speaking the truth about what is really going on right now. People feel alone and they should not. People are hurting, many of them. You're a rock star. You know that,
That's
already,
super
right?
kind. Super kind.
Do you know that?
I know. Well, I think that's super kind, and I appreciate the kind words and the support.
Yeah. No, I'm inspired by you, man. There was another post that I saw you did a while where people were saying that you're like stolen valor, like they were going
Yeah,
at
I
your
got it.
stolen,
Yeah, yeah.
and And I was just like, I wonder if the reason why they're saying that is because he's not a bro vet. Is because I get told all the time, you don't seem like you're in the Marines. Like, why? Is it because I smile, jackass? Ooh, I said I was
Yep.
gonna say person, but like, you know, that's what. Hey man, it's your fault, man. I'm gonna blame on the Air Force, but it's almost like with the stolen valor stuff. It's like they
Mm.
try to pin that on everybody. How did that affect you, man?
Well, it just I mean, it just goes to show, the, the tunnel vision we get, when it comes to our opinions. And one of the benefits of being in the military is, for many reasons, is the diversity of the military. It's one of the most diverse organizations on the planet. I was an instructor at enlisted Air Force basic training. I wore that big hat there, and
One of the mean
and
guys.
what's that?
I said one of the mean guys.
Yeah. Well, I like the training part. I like the inculcation, the development, the mentoring part of it. But yeah, I did yell and make people do push-ups. But the sheer variety of people that came in through basic training. I mean, not just people from California to New York to Idaho to Chicago to Louisiana, but we had people from other countries that were naturalizing as citizens through basic training.
Mm,
We had people from all over the world. So you want to talk about disparate, you want to talk about variable different. I mean, these people are as different as they could possibly be. So you're forced to be in that situation. That's one of the challenges of training in a basic training environment is you gotta take all these very different people and create a cohesive unit. I think people that do education and training and curriculum development in the military don't get enough love because that's not easy stuff to do. And the people that do the training, most of it's not in how to yell and make beds. It's psychology and group dynamics and that sort of stuff. So kudos to all those people because I know how hard it is. But the point I'm making and even in your work, as a military member, you are surrounded by people that are very different. All day, every day, you're surrounded by people that are different. And yes, the military, with a slightly higher percentage, leans more in one direction than the other. But those people, their opinions are variable and different. And so you're surrounded by this. And like I said, veteran community typically they don't have lukewarm opinions about anything. But at least there are different opinions. You get out of the military, you get out of a work environment in which you are forced to interact with people that are different than you, and all of your news comes from a source. And you choose to hang out with people that align with your values, and you choose to read content that aligns with your values and your preconceived ideas and your biases. We all have biases. I don't care what side you're on, everybody has biases. And so we all get into these tunnels and these vacuums of information to the point where people become angry and militant against other people that are on the other end in the other vacuum and believe that they're trying to ruin something when the fact is everybody just wants what's best for everybody for the most part, and we just have very different ways of going about it, and we're being manipulated by the people that make money off us fighting and clicking on stuff and sharing stuff.
yeah.
But so we got these military members that have very strong opinions. They get out of the military and they end up in these vacuums, these echo chambers, like so many people do. And that's when it becomes dangerous. And in this situation, I was making a post, and I really avoid this now, and for this reason, like I just don't even want to. I don't want to go down the politics lane. So it was a political post, and basically the person said, "No real veteran would have this opinion
Oh
because
man.
I think this person, all the people he served with." All the people he chose to hang out with, all the people that he engaged with voluntarily in his echo chamber, it was so forceful and so deep rooted that the idea of somebody thinking a polar opposite opinion to his was like it was like seeing a giraffe in the street in New York. It was like like seeing an animal out of captivity. It was like, what? That's not possible. And so he's like, well, okay, this person obviously can't be a veteran because no veteran that I know would think like this. And so he immediately leaped to stolen valor.
Yeah.
And the guy went on a campaign, fire and brimstone, man, just trying to he'd outed me, and I could have, I blocked him in some places and he'd show up in my email or he'd show up I mean, this guy would not give up because he thought that he had somebody with some modicum of influence or a following that was trying to, I was trying to pull the wool over people's eyes and pretend he was something he wasn't. And I get the passion behind that, but he
Yeah.
was mistaken. And so eventually I decided to do something that I would never recommend that anybody do. I don't know why I did it, but I FaceTime with him.
Wow.
And I took the troll.
Did you put your campaign cover on? And
I went face to face and I started rifling through my boxes and I'm like, here's this award, here's this award, here's this medal, here's my DD-214. I'm going to cover my social. Like, here's my shadow box.
Leave me the hell alone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, I get it. You are a service member. And we ended up having, I wouldn't call it a good conversation because I was hurt, but I tried to understand where he was coming from. I wasn't hurt. I was like miffed, but like I was trying to understand and try to get him to understand. And he ended up making a public apology. Of course, the guy has two followers, so didn't really go anywhere, but he did go onto my threads and say like, look, I'm sorry, he was right. But I remember I told him, I was like, look, man, we all get into these echo chambers. I get it. And we surround ourselves with people that align with our values. But like for me, most of the people that I hang out with, even in the veteran community, feel this way. So there's this entire other world of people out there that you couldn't even comprehend exist because they feel differently. Just know like it's a 50-50 thing and it doesn't have to be oil and water here. Like, and when you lash out to at other veterans, when you claim stolen valor when it's not really a thing, when you so loosely throw around such a serious accusation at somebody who's just trying to do right by everybody and educate people, like it cheapens all of us. When veterans fight publicly, it cheapens all of us. It makes us all look bad and stupid and immature. And I said, look, man, I appreciate the public apology, but like what would be really impactful is for you to not do this again to anybody else and to maybe take a step back and open your worldview a bit.
Yeah.
And I'll try to do the same. And it ended up being like he left me alone. He made an apology, but like, boy, I mean, this guy tried to ruin my life for like a week.
Is he still trolling folks?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Dude.
I don't know. I'm glad he left me alone. I hope that our conversation inspired at least some modicum of understanding in him. But I mean, right now, I don't know. I couldn't confidently say like, oh, I'm sure he's good now because so many people are so angry about so much because we're conditioned to be that way, especially about people who believe a different political or socioeconomic opinion or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was hurting.
Yeah.
That's what I get from that. As soon as you
That's a
told
good
me
point.
that, I'm like, damn, it sounds like he's hurting. And then you let him know, dude, this is really hurting me. And here it
Mm,
is, that you're wrong. And I think that's good that he did that. And that's one thing about leadership on your part and on his part. He could have just said, dude, I don't care. I'm still at you. But you said, dude, look, I'm gonna be vulnerable. I shouldn't probably do this, don't have to do this, but
mm.
this is who I am. And you also took the time to educate him, which I think is very commendable of you. That's I wouldn't, man, I'm not mature enough to do that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'm mature enough to do that. I just did it. I mean, maybe even it came from a place of fear, like maybe it was like, honestly, I considered changing my registered business address to a PO box sort of thing because people do scary stuff.
Yeah.
And it really is, if you read any of Pat Flynn's books, and I can't remember which one it was. Pat Flynn's good, man. I saw him speak at the Military Influencer Conference in DC a few years back, and he gave me his book Super Fans. It's a fantastic book.
You good?
Signed it for me and everything. But I'm pretty sure in that book he talks about, as you grow a following, protecting yourself. And that's never anything that I had never considered that before. But some people are nuts, man. Like I've gotten over my very lukewarm opinions, even staying away from politics as for, as long as I have, as much as I've tried to, like I still get like threats of harm.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. I don't get people sometimes.
Yeah, that happened hasn't happened to me where people wanna hurt well, I've had people go on their little freaking rants. Usually it's because of whatever, "I
Mm,
don't like you no more. You told me that you're gonna do this. You found out, like, who I really was, and you wanted to protect yourself, so I'm gonna try to hurt you." That kinda stuff. I've had
mm.
people call and say, I'm in danger, can you" that kinda stuff, but not that, but dude, it takes a lot of courage to step out and do that, and you had to know that you're gonna get some hate, especially having an opinion that might not be popular,
Mm.
to certain groups, and that shows a lot about you, that shows a lot about your character, and it shows way more about their character, um,
Well,
so
those people are probably all hurting. I mean, like you said earlier,
yeah.
no happy person, no fulfilled person acts in that way. And um, you'd asked me before we met for a quote, and I was like, man, I could, whenever anybody asked me that, I was like, I can't think of a good one. I don't know, but I do have one.
Right.
Connection of mine from LinkedIn says, life is like a video game in that you're headed in the right direction when you run into bad guys, and you run into more guys, you run into tougher bad guys and more challenges and more hurdles and speed bumps and puzzles and whatever. Like, you're headed towards this finish line, towards this feeling of success or whatever. I can't remember exactly how he put it, but I thought that was great. Like, it, you know 9 times out of 10, if you have people reaching out to you and saying negative things, it's because they see that you have a successful podcast, and they see that you are putting yourself out there, having the audacity to put yourself out there to try, and to have success with it like you have. And it drives them crazy, because those people, they're threatened by it because maybe they didn't try, or maybe they tried once and failed, like it makes people uncomfortable,
Yeah,
and so you keep doing you, man. Keep if you like, I tell anybody that, like, if you run into haters, like, you're headed in the right direction. Unless, I mean, read the room. Unless you're getting ratioed, you got a million comments, and maybe your opinion is not so popular and you need to rethink a little bit. But like,
yeah,
general haters that are just reaching out because you're being seen, I
yeah,
mean, that's validation that you're doing the right stuff.
yeah, I appreciate you saying that. It's yeah, and I say that it comes from hurt just from one incident.
Yeah.
Man, is this dude just going at me. It was a yeah, it was a dude that was going at me, and I had wrote out this freaking long paragraph about this long, freaking like killing him with these words. So it was
Mhm.
good, man. I
Mhm.
might still have it saved in my phone in my notes section. It was so good. I had to take it off off of offline to make sure that
Yeah.
my punctuality was on point.
There you
But
go. Yeah, I've been there.
yeah, something told me, I don't know if it was myself or if it was my wife that said, "Look at his page." I can't remember, but I looked
Mm.
at his page and I saw that he had just went through a divorce. I saw that he had some custody issues. I saw that there was some suicide stuff there, and immediately I
Mm.
I felt like his pain, and I was just like, "Damn, he's suffering." So I wrote him back, and just told him, "Dude, I love you." I told him, "Listen, I know that we got off on the wrong foot. If you need somebody to talk to, I would gladly, I would love to talk to
Mm.
you. I wish you nothing but the best." And I went back, and I don't think he said anything back to me. He
Mm.
loved the comment, but he deleted all the other stuff, and I was just like,
Mm.
wow, did I just mature for 20 seconds or what? But
You could have saved a life, man. And that to me, like the empathy that you showed there and the understanding is rare. And to me, like, talking about leadership and leading, like, you can't be an effective leader without empathy. You can't be a leader of men and women. You can't lead people without empathy. Narcissists and sociopaths are are sometimes charismatic enough to inspire short-term compliance, but not love or trust or those sort of things that true leadership connects and inspires. So like you showing me, you expressing that empathy right now, it just shows me that you're a leader I could get behind. That's such an important quality.
I appreciate you saying that. Dude, you're amazing, and I know that all the viewers they know it, they believe it, they see it, and they're like, man, I want some of what this guy Adam got. There's got to be a product. There's got to be something that he does that he can help me with. Like, what is it that you do outside of the chamber?
Well, I do communications consulting, communications and storytelling consulting. So if somebody has, and I do that very casually. It's not like I don't have a hard sell or an upsell or anything. I mean, it's if
You don't
they're
have no funnels.
yeah, if there's a business or a brand that is, you know, uh, well, everybody should be into storytelling. I mean, that's how you develop your business. That's how you raise funds. That's how you do, that you can build an entire foundation for a brand on a story and through effective storytelling, even more so than a product. I mean, heck, you could have a good product and a bad story, and you're not going to inspire anybody to click buy or purchase or connect or anything like that. So helping people tell their stories and helping people with their communications and whatnot is something that I do. In the process of writing a book, the pre-sale is done already, but I mean, if it's called LinkedIn Mastery for Veterans and Transitioning Service Members. Very in-depth analysis on how to create a brand on LinkedIn as a veteran, as a military member, as a transitioner to grow your career, grow your brand, grow your business, whatever. LinkedIn's still such a very effective tool, and nothing's happening to that. Like LinkedIn is going to be the king and the queen and the emperor all at the same time in this space for quite some time to come. And there's a lot we can learn about best practices that applies to other social networks by mastering that. So when that comes out, just I guess read it, I guess, and spread the word. But you know, uh, other than that, I mean, I don't have a product.
You're the product.
Yeah, I mean, it's someday,
Yeah.
someday. I mean, I would much rather educate and inspire and help people. Um, and if I could build a large enough network that, traffic alone through YouTube could pay the bills or whatever, and I wouldn't have to worry about selling a product or whatever, so I could just have more of an opportunity to help and educate. Like that's my vision, and so I'm not like, I don't want to come out with a, Adam ode to Adam cologne or whatever and make $1 million or whatever, just be able to keep the lights on and help people, because there are so many awesome people out there that helped and taught me and mentored me and whatnot. It's just, it's our responsibility to pay that stuff forward.
Oh, I love it, man. I appreciate you hanging out with me.
Yeah,
Uh,
man, this is fun.
yeah, send me the link to the book once you
Sure.
have it for sale. I'll push it through to my people. I'll make sure that I buy it as long as you promise that I can get your autograph on it because I
Oh
know
yeah,
it's
easy
going,
peasy.
man.
It'll
Uh,
probably be out early next year sometime.
okay. All
Yeah.
right, good deal, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna close really quick. You want to hang
Mhm.
out if you got a
Yep,
little
I
bit of
will.
time? All right, thank you so much. Guess it's just us. Oh man, I'm super super grateful to Adam for blessing us with his story. One of the things that I was learning, I'm over here taking notes about him, and I just got an amazing idea. I guess I'll keep that to myself. But Adam inspired me, and one thing, if I'm dealing with something that's important, if you're dealing with something, it's important to let people know. And the reason why you want to let people know, not just to be one of those people that are, playing that game, who could be the saddest, right? But letting people know in your circle, out of your circle, because we really do need to normalize saying today is just one of those days, right? We've normalized everything else. We've normalized saying my knee is hurting, my back is hurting. That's all cool, right? But we don't say that I feel sad. We don't say that I'm hurting. And what happens when we don't say that? We don't get the help that we need. So if you're watching this and you're struggling, tell somebody. If you have the courage to tell somebody, you have the courage to do what Adam did in his post. It's not just about you saving you, you're saving other people. And that's what this is about. There's a great man that I know. He always says there's unity and community. The first time that I heard that, I'm just like, oh, that's cheesy. But dude, I get it. There is unity in community. And that's one thing that I picked up from Adam. What do we got next week? Thursday, 5 p.m. I'm not streaming. I wish I was, but I would probably get in trouble because it's Thanksgiving. Friday, we might have a surprise guest. And then I'm working on doing an interview with this amazing guy that I met, Dennis Walters. He is in the PGA, or the golf, all of golf, not just the PGA, but all of golf across the world, Hall of Fame. And I think I'm going to pull up his story really quick and show it to you. I hope it's inspiring. Let me know in the comments if when I play this, y'all, if there's like some echo or something. Still trying to get the hang of this.
Dennis is an inspiration to anybody who sees him. You look at him and you say, wow.
He inspires so many people.
I marvel at how well he does his work when I see him swing a golf club.
There's always light at the end of the tunnel. I just love this guy so much.
An elite golfer, Dennis Walters was getting ready to join the PGA Tour.
He's a great high school player, great junior player. He went to North Texas State University and played there for them. His goal obviously was to get to the PGA Tour. But I believe that Dennis Walters would have been the finest player ever to come out of the state of New Jersey.
And then suddenly, something happened that changed his life forever.
He said, Ralph, come quick. Somebody flipped a golf cart. I think it's Dennis. He said, Ralph, it's serious. I can't move my legs.
But when the doctor said, you're never going to play golf again, that made him angry.
But Dennis never quit.
I figured I was never going to accomplish anything when I was laying in that hospital bed. And I figured if I get out of this, I'm going to never give up trying to figure out a way that I could play golf.
His rescue dogs have always helped Dennis, both at home and on the course.
Never let anyone tell you that your dream is impossible.
Dennis Walters pioneered adaptive golf for people with disabilities.
And if your dream does not work out, that's okay.
Yeah, baby.
Get a new dream.
All right. Oh, can you hear me? All right. Y'all take care and have a good week. Bye.